John, thanks for joining us again on Investor Stream today. Now, firstly, some very exciting news out this morning. The MIL has secured an option over 2 highly prospective gold copper licenses. How did this opportunity come about for MIL?
Well, my pleasure, Alex, and yes, a very exciting announcement today. And I'd like to start by highlighting that this is, as folks who've been on the journey with us will know, the strategy that I outlined in 2017, and we're finally in a position to execute. Myanmar is a richly mineralised and hardly explored place. We have the first mover advantage, and we intend to make full use of it before the rest of the world catches on. And they aren't far behind. Companies like Panos are exploring in Myanmar already. But our track record, our network and reputation mitigate the sovereign risk and allow us to see opportunities early and also see opportunities that others can't. You won't find projects like this on a map. You have to be on the ground, in country, and talking to the right people. And as I've said previously, the Bawdwin Mineral Province is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the mineral wealth that Myanmar has to offer. And we're incredibly pleased to be able to provide our shareholders with this first mover opportunity. The chance to utilise our strong in-country relationships and reputation to expand our project pipeline with further high-quality assets was too good to pass up. With this deal, we become active in the gold space, we gain operating exposure to a different part of the country and in different terrain, and we become a true explorer. And another really important feature of the Lockyer deal is that MIL has been able to structure a phased investment which mitigates risk and reduces upfront financial exposure. But this is a key turning point in our company's journey. It's where we stop being a one-project company and begin to leverage our unique position in Myanmar. Myanmar Metals is the leading Western mine developer in the country, having spent 2 years now building relationships, learning how to operate effectively in country, and most importantly, delivering results. We're well respected by government, and we're attracting local groups with mineral projects seeking an international partner.
Thanks, John. Now, we understand these exploration projects are highly prospective for gold and copper mineralisation. Can you talk us through what caught your eye when you were reviewing the opportunity?
Well, the first thing that jumped out at me was the gold grades reported from some of the early stage exploration. Now, to be sure, it's only scout sampling in some of the many small-scale artisanal mines on the application areas, but nonetheless, a gold intersection of 51.4 grams a tonne over 9 metres, which included 1 metre at 334 grams, is not something you see every day, so that certainly got my attention. The 2 licence applications are sitting within an artisanal gold province, and they're surrounded by a number of small-scale gold mines, all of which are untouched by any meaningful forms of modern day exploration. And I believe there's great potential upside and value that we can unlock for our shareholders. And we're talking about a hydrothermal system here that looks to have produced the near-surface deposits that the artisanal miners are working. And there are several different styles of mineralisation that we can see on the project areas already. We have low sulphidation epithermal mineralisation, and that produces high-grade vein deposits, perhaps like Pajingo in Australia that people would know. We are also seeing high sulphidation epithermal mineralisation, and that's often associated with the deeper porphyry, and that is the real prize here. Copper-gold porphyries form. They're often huge. Think Bingham Canyon in Utah, for example, and low grade, but they account for about half of the world's copper. A nearby example where a high sulphidation epithermal has an associated porphyry deposit is Tujuh Bukit in Java, or a bit further afield at Yanacocha in Peru, which is one of the world's largest gold mines. And finally, there's also a lot of granite-hosted orogenic narrow vein mineralisation in artisanal mines that stretch for over 11 kilometres. And these mines are working pyrite-rich, thin sheeted quartz veins that can be very high grade. Australian analogues could be Charters Towers or perhaps Dargues Reef near Canberra. So there are a lot of ways we can win on this ground.
Okay, so what does the game plan look like now in terms of pushing ahead with the development of Bawdwin while also rolling out exploration programs across these new projects?
Well, clearly our focus remains on bringing the world-class Bawdwin mine online. We really only have capacity to build one mine at a time, and Bawdwin is a company maker. As mentioned before, a number of projects have been presented to us in recent times. However, most of them did not have a good fit with the project development phase underway at Bawdwin. Lockyer was different, and the board's view is simply too good to pass up. Tarlay and Mongywang have geological merit, as evidenced by the small-scale high-grade artisanal gold mining. They have district-scale potential, and being greenfields exploration plays, they don't compete for the resources assigned to the Bawdwin project. The Tarlay and Mongywang projects are low cost. They make use of our prospecting capability on things like soil sampling, mapping and geophysics, which are pretty much complete at Bawdwin, and they provide much needed diversity that a single project company just doesn't have.
Thanks, John. So just finally, looking ahead, can you provide us with a recap of what we can expect to see from Bawdwin in the near term? And how quickly do you think you'll be able to commence exploration on these new projects?
Well, at Bawdwin, we look forward to releasing the mining options study that puts some numbers for the first time on the phases of mining beyond the starter pit, and thereafter to lodging our MIC permit application with support from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation. We're on track for MIC approval in Q1 2020, finalising the DFS about the same time, and then finalising our environmental and social impact assessment, our finance and our offtake discussions in Q2, and we plan to commence construction thereafter. And of course, drilling in ER Valley to follow up last season's 5.5% copper hit will get underway after Christmas, once the rigs are freed up for drilling geotechnical holes for the pit. Along the Locrian project, we have a 3-month initial assessment period, and assuming we still like what we see, the option is exercisable upon granting of the first exploration concession. Our directors will join the board of Locrian immediately to help with the final approval process. And on this timetable, we're prospecting in Q1 2020, and I'm really excited about what we'll find.
Well, John, congratulations on this development, and we'll certainly keep tabs on how things advance at Bawdwin, but also at Locrian. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Alex.